Hi, I'm Erin Bursey, and welcome to an MLT Tech Talk. Today we're going to discuss takeaway points from CommTech East 2019. We were lucky enough to attend the industry event this past April in Mississauga, Ontario. Before we begin, Missing Link Technologies, aka MLT, has been a strategic partner in the ICT industry for over 18 years. Our Tech Talks are a space for MLT's team to share our perspectives on the latest trends in the telecommunications industry. For today's Tech Talk, I'm joined by Marcel Boudreau and Jensen. Both are technical planners at Missing Link Technologies. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
Welcome.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. So, John, we're going to cover the exciting trends that are going on in the industry, but why don't we start from where we are today? What does the current industry look like?
So right now, currently, we're working with mostly HFC networks, which is hybrid fiber coax for the wireline side of things, and 4G LTE for wireless. HFC is where fiber leaves the head end and stops at a node, and the optical to electrical conversion exists. Then we have coax to the home or customer. This technology is working on the 50 to 860 megahertz spectrum for the downstream and 5 to 45 megahertz on the upstream. So this low frequency has worked well as the signal travels much further and it's less susceptible to interference. So it's great for rural and indoor coverage, but it's not really great for fast speeds. So there is limitations to our existing network versus the demand.
Okay. So, I mean, the industry is always kind of looking to meet consumer demand or customer demand. So right now, I guess that's one of the challenges that the industry is facing.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel that Canada in particular, even though we don't have the fastest speeds, it is still kind of a robust telecom infrastructure that is run and operated by a few really big players. Like close to 90% of the population in Canada does have access to internet, which is a very impressive achievement considering it's the second largest country in the world, geographically speaking. I think that it is very welcoming of change too. Like our industry leaders, I feel are very open-minded and are listening to customers' demand. Things like unlimited data plans, higher download speeds, lower latency, smarter cities, and billions of devices connected. I mean, these are the demands that are driving changes within the industry, and I think it's pushing it to evolve even faster than before.
And it's an interesting point. 90% in Canada have internet access. So there's still that 10%, which are probably remote or rural environments, where we're still facing that challenge of getting internet to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
In terms of trends, or Marcel, if you're looking at what was discussed at CommTech East, where do you see the telecom industry evolving?
I think it's evolving at an unbelievably rapid rate. We hear new terms such as 5G, fiber to the home, remote PHY, GPON, SuperPON for virtual CCAP and full duplex DOCSIS. I mean, putting it simply, these are all new types of technologies that will help us get towards the goal of faster, seamless, on-demand services. And customer needs are always evolving, and I think this industry really needs to lead the way in that.
John, from your perspective, how do you see the industry evolving?
Yeah, like the buzzwords were really 5G and fiber to the home. That's definitely where the industry is headed. 5G is the next generation of wireless technology, and it builds on the foundation of 4G. So the industry is trying to plan for 5G right now as they plan their current fiber to the home and other projects. But there are some problems, like the standards for 5G are still being created today, and they're not complete yet.
When we're combining or talking about 5G and fiber to the home, how are these new technologies related, or are they?
It's funny because it would be they're more related than some would think. To some, it might seem obvious that going towards 5G or wireless technologies, it means getting rid of all cables everywhere. It's like we're cutting the cord for good, but the reality is that it's just not the case. For example, like 5G technology can be implemented by creating something called small cells. So when you talk about small cell densification, it really means more fiber. If we're going from 3G or 4G to 5G, in some areas that could mean that it would require up to 16 times more fibers. For example, like 4G would require like one site every 10 kilometer, which means that like cell density of one cell per 100 square kilometer. And 4G, on the other hand, would be one site for like 2 kilometers or 25 cells per 100 square kilometers. But when we talk about 5G, going to 5G, it's interesting. We'd have like one site for every 0.5 kilometer. So we're increasing the amount of cells to 400 per 100 square kilometers.
Wow.
And also, if we talk about backhaul, which transmits information to its final destination, that's where we could see the bulk of this extra need. We talked with an association called the Fiber Broadband Association, and they were saying that to meet 5G wireless demands, it's estimated that 1.4 million miles of fiber would be needed just in the top 25 U.S. metros. That could amount to like 150 to 180 billion dollars in investment in new fiber in over 5 to 7 years. So that's pretty huge.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's huge. As you were kind of talking about just the amount of infrastructure that's required to actually make that jump, I was thinking of all of the planning and really getting different groups that maybe haven't worked together working towards that one common goal. And when you're talking about like minimum 180 billion investment, that's a massive investment that the industry is making to kind of upgrade their network. But a huge amount of planning.
I agree. I agree. Planning is key.
And what other industries do you think the industry would face, or what was discussed in the forums that you attended?
What challenges?
Yes, yeah.
I think an important customer expectation right now is flawless performance. Right now, telecom companies, they're required to have quick turnarounds, but their turnarounds will need to be much quicker. Keeping up with high demands can be a challenge, so that's why, like you said, planning is key. Telecom companies will need to solve powering, backhaul, site acquisition challenges. When we look at online gaming that's on the rise, the industry is met with challenge of also offering lower latency. We've heard the plan of offering less than 2 milliseconds in 5 to 10 years. That's a huge development. Propagation in the millimeter wave is also very difficult. Can be around like 1 kilometer range or less, like I said. So there are solutions out there. I mean, we've heard small cell beamforming or wireless to the home as examples of solutions out there. So we're very hopeful that challenges will be conquered.
Yeah, and one example of that, the millimeter wave issue Marcel mentioned, is the small cell being deployed on, say, like a light post in front of the customer's home. Well, one of the challenges with that right now is if a city bus drives by the front of the house and it breaks the line of sight between the small cell and the customer home, this will cause the signal to disconnect and the customer will lose service. So this is a challenge right now that we're facing with planning these small cells. So yeah, the planning is definitely key to move forward with fiber to the home or 5G. And there's many things to consider when planning where the small cell goes. And that can be a problem for some areas that are looking to tap into this world of 5G. One thing I want to bring up is another challenge is small cell concealment, because like Marcel mentioned earlier, there's going to be hundreds of those small cells in such a dense or small area. So a big topic in the industry right now is how are we going to hide these things or conceal them in a way that they're highly aesthetic. And there's challenges with that as well. Like it can be very expensive. There's RF transparency challenges and long lead times for customized enclosures.
I can see that. I mean, and if it's on people's property or close to a property or in a specific type of community, there could be a very distinct look and feel to all of those small cells. I'm sure there's already an industry developing around the aesthetic, right? If there's going to be millions of these small cells in cities and, you know, across continents, that's kind of an interesting side business that's arriving because of the technology.
Yeah.
You know, I guess there are always risks with every opportunity. Marcel, what was discussed around the risks and the opportunities related to these new technologies? Because we're already hearing this buzz, right? So what was discussed at CommTech East?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we could, and some people have been speculating about the possible effects on people's health or even just your day-to-day life. We've heard the understandable, I guess, paranoia related to microwave just constantly beaming through our bodies. But the harsh reality is, like it or not, 5G is coming, and no one really knows exactly what positive or negative impacts will come out of this. But a lot of great opportunities and breakthroughs will happen thanks to these advancements. People from different walks of life will all benefit in their own unique way. New services and industries will emerge, new types of entertainment. Everything and everyone will be connected. I saw one presentation, it was forecasted that the 5G market would be worth around $1 trillion by the year 2025. Over 25 billion devices connected. So we're talking smartwatches, TVs, gaming consoles, even fridges or toasters. They're also forecasting that just over 9 billion mobile connections in the next 5 years. So, I mean, even if you see it as a good or bad, everyone everywhere will feel some sort of impact on their day-to-day life.
Right.
No, that's insane when you think about the number of devices across from entertainment to health to smart cities. It's really overwhelming, to be honest. And I know in terms of gaming, virtual reality, I mean, did people discuss that?
Yeah, a little bit. It is very real now, and it just won't. It will get better. I mean, they have a few challenges right now. We mentioned lower latency, faster speeds. So, but it'll just get better.
From your perspective, what do you think are the risks and opportunities?
Yeah, so like there is definitely opportunity for our lives to improve significantly with this newly connected world of 5G. A great example that was talked about a lot at the event we attended was smart cities, where everything will be connected. So when you think of smart cities, like things will improve, like traffic management, and problems will be resolved faster than before. Like one example that was mentioned was there's going to be sensors in cars, so where if you run over a pothole, the sensor will record the coordinates where you hit the pothole, and it will send that data directly to the city instantly. So the city will have all that data and go to that specific area to pave the road like much faster than ever before.
So we're kind of getting into the big data as well. I mean, with so many devices and so much data being collected, cities, I guess, and industry as well has an opportunity to have access to so much more data or data points. And in terms of potholes, well, that would keep our city very busy, wouldn't it? Can you imagine? But that's an interesting use of being able to give immediate feedback on the conditions of the roads and, where they need to focus their attention. That's a really great example of a real world application. Since we're talking about society and, potential benefits, Marcel, big picture, and this is kind of a big question. How do you think this will impact our society?
It is a big question.
It is, yeah.
Who knows? But I mean, technology has, and it always will be, one of the biggest influences on our societies. Like we already mentioned, its impact can already be noticed through smart cities. Some current smart cities out there, they already have initiatives that are focusing on stuff like energy efficiency by building out fiber networks to reliably manage its energy and electrical systems. Healthier cities. We heard of Minnesota that's piloting a project to use its fiber as a platform for home monitoring of patients with dementia. Safer streets. Verizon in Boston are using sensors and advanced traffic signal controls to measure traffic and improve safety. Just connected communities. Santa Monica City Net provides fiber-supported Wi-Fi to its residents in public places. Big picture, really, it doesn't really matter if you're a telecom company, private company, local or federal government, or even just private citizens. Everybody needs to be involved. I'd say collaborate, discuss, share, question, investigate, and be curious. Who knows where this will all lead?
It's one thing's for sure. It's definitely going to affect everyone and how people use it and how people even digest all the data. I think that's very interesting. That's very interesting to me and even to MLT as well. We've been in the industry for over 18 years, so we've been involved in the evolution and very gratefully involved because it's helped us to grow and learn within the industry. John, when you were there and kind of absorbing all this information, where do you see MLT's role in this next evolution?
Well, definitely, like you said, being a partner in the planning and design phase of FTTX, we'll be involved like during the transition of the legacy equipment to the new equipment. There's gonna be a lot of change inside of CSP's head end and their outside plant. So managing that existing infrastructure, space and power will be a challenge, but it's not something that MLT has not worked through before. We've been through a lot of transitioning periods with new technology throughout the years, and we've been able to create cost-effective optimizations to prepare ourselves and our clients for the future.
Yeah, so true. And that optimization can happen on so many levels inside the head end and even outside in terms of, optimizing fiber routes and all that sort of stuff. So
Exactly,
that's an interesting perspective. Marcel, what are your thoughts on MLT's role in the evolution?
I couldn't agree more with John. I mean, like we've mentioned, MLT's been growing and evolving with this industry for over 18 years now, and I don't think we're stopping anytime soon. We know the pains, struggles that companies can face, but we also see the rewards waiting for everyone when we just work together to accomplish our common goals. everybody has expertise to offer. So I think collaboration is key, not only for successful, but really for a better, brighter future for everyone.
No, well said. I think our goal as a strategic partner would definitely be to dive into the pain points and support our partners in coming up with solutions. This has really been a great conversation on how you interpreted and how you were involved in the content that was delivered in CommTech East. Definite buzzwords, like even looking at the sessions, it was 5G and it was fiber to the home. So I want to thank you for sharing your perspective. It was really interesting and all encompassing, from large topics like looking at how it's going to affect society all the way down to how we optimize space to make this happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you for the opportunity.
This has been an MLT Tech Talk. For more information on Missing Link Technologies, find us on LinkedIn, Twitter, or visit us at mlt.ca. Thanks for listening.